find the most comfortable position for those sits bones, your feet, your legs. We'll bring our hands to our knees and gently rock side to side. Feeling into our spines a little. Maybe you deepen that sway side to side. Start to notice those hips. You can draw one shoulder down towards the opposite knee. Inhaling, and then rotating. Maybe you lift your gaze as you do this. Then we'll go ahead and meet with that tall spine. This time our hands will lie in our lap. You might need to round those shoulders up and down your spine to lift your chest and chin nice and tall. And we'll eventually close our eyes and come into some stillness. You begin to notice the sensations around you, the noise, the smell, the temperature. Maybe something's moving around. Let's become one with our environment. We can't always control what's happening in our space. So can we allow ourselves to intertwine or intermix? And have that be a part of our practice. Sometimes there can be sirens or chatter. And let's allow that to be another part of our yoga. Resting your right hand over your belly button and your left hand over your chest. I invite you to bring your awareness to your breath. Feeling your diaphragm lift with an inhale and your stomach compress with your exhales. Seeing if you can invite some length into your breaths. You do a count of 4 for each inhale and exhale. Really filling up and then emptying. Gently open our eyes if they're closed. We'll swap out our front foot. So whatever foot was behind, gently place it in front. Bringing our hands to heart center. We'll interlace our fingers and push our palms away from our chest and begin to sway side to side here. You might even rotate into a twist, finding the range of motion in your shoulders, in your mid-back. You don't have to go super deep or force anything. And from here, we'll draw those hands over our head, lifting your gaze to the sky. Some side to side might feel good. Some circles with those arms. Now getting that torso involved, kind of like you're doing a seated hula hoop. Let's take it in the opposite direction. From here, we'll release our fingers and slide our left hand over to its side, reaching up and over with that right hand. You might keep that elbow lifted or come down to the floor. We want to keep our right glute pressed into the earth. And you can lift and lower your gaze. Let's draw our right hand towards the ground and we're going to walk ourselves into a forward fold to center. Tucking your chin into your chest. And we'll make our way now over to the right. So sliding that right hand to its side, lifting up and over with that left hand. And you might notice right away, this feels a little different. Maybe your left knee lifts off the ground. Observing those differences. Not assigning any kind of value or story to this. On an inhale, gently lift yourself up so those arms are overhead. We'll draw our right hand over to the left knee and come into a twist with our left hand behind. Inhaling as you lift your spine and exhaling, twisting over to the left. Exhale as you make your way through center. And we'll move our twist this time over to the right. Inhaling for length and exhaling, deepening into your twist. Inhale, let's return ourselves to center. And from here, we're going to lean back on our forearms, bending your knees in front of you. Bring your feet off the mat and then begin to draw your knees towards one another. So we're creating an arrow shape with our legs. This is wonderful for opening up spots that you didn't really know needed it. So for me, I feel like I can Feel this through my pelvis, my glutes, other places I can't describe. We'll stay and breathe here. Gently separate your knees. We'll heel toe those feet in line with one another, and then windshield wipe those knees side to side. Excellent. From here, we'll make our way into tabletop. Taking a moment to come into that intuitive movement. So moving your body in any way that feels good. Cat and cow, C curve. You can do the barrel roll. Option to bend your elbows and come down to the floor. Maybe you close your eyes. Really listen to what it is your body is calling for. We'll find some stillness in our table. Rooting into your palms, go ahead and step your right foot out from your hip, rooting into that foot. And we'll begin to flow forward and backward as we explore the inner right leg. Sinking those hips towards your heels. It can feel nice to spend a little time here. And then lifting yourself forward. We want to keep this right foot planted, but maybe you bend into that knee if it's getting to be a little much. When you've made your way back to table, keeping this right leg extended, root into your right hand, and with an inhale, we'll lift our left arm open to its side, reaching nice and tall with that palm, coming into a twist. Option to roll out your wrists and move in the opposite direction. Let's reach that left hand even higher. And then we'll go ahead and come in to thread the needle. So sweeping that left arm underneath your body, come to rest on your left ear. Decide where you'd like your right hand to be. And keep your fingers tented into the mat, or maybe you place your hand on your low back. Place your right palm outside of your face. With an inhale, we'll lift up. And exhale, at your left hand. Drawing that right knee back in, you might want to roll out your hip or extend that leg. And we'll now take this on our left side. So extending your left leg, your left foot away from that left hip. Begin to flow forward and backward. We'll meet upright with those hands nice and wide. On an inhale, lift your right hand high. Roll out your wrist. Opposite direction. We'll go ahead and come in to thread the needle, sweeping your right arm underneath your body, coming to rest on your right temple or ear, and options for those hand variations. Planting that left hand. Let's gently lift that right arm high and make our way into table. Curling those toes under, lift your hips up to the sky as we make our way into downward facing dog. Warming up the backs of your legs, your shoulders, pedaling out those feet. Making sure your hands are spread nice and wide. We'll meet with our heels lifted and then gently twist your heels over to the right, planting those feet if that's available. Inhale as you lift those heels back up. Exhale, drop them over to the left. Inhale, lift those heels. Exhale, draw them to the floor. Gently lift your gaze up towards your feet and we'll step forward, making our way into a forward fold, letting your head hang heavy. It'd be nice to interlace your fingers and rest them behind your neck. Not pulling, just allowing the weight of your hands to draw your head closer to your legs. Let's go ahead and release our hands. On an inhale, lift halfway, straight spine to the tailbone, the crown of the head. And exhale, fold over your legs. We'll gently roll up to stand, keeping your hands on your body as you roll up. Taking time, rounding your shoulders up, and bring your hands to heart center, rocking forward and backward on your feet. We'll come into a foot stretch here. So with your feet underneath your hips, we're going to go ahead and roll onto the pinky toe side of each foot. Starting to open up our ankles, side of our shin. Go ahead and return those feet to the floor. You might need to shake them out. And now we'll take this on our big toe side. So you might need to take your feet a little bit wider. Begin to rest on that big toe side. It might be a little awkward So if you want to just do this one at a time, that's always a great option. Let's come back. Normal stance, shaking those legs out. From here, we're going to sweep our left leg behind our right. So pinky toes are not necessarily in line, but they're close to one another. With an inhale, lift your arms up and overhead, and I know you can't see. We'll find our left wrist with our right hand and lean over to the right. Keeping those hips squared forward. This bend is coming from the mid-body. On an inhale, unwind your legs. We'll take cactus arms as we lift our gaze up to the sky. From here, let's sweep our right foot behind the left. Re-extend those arms, find your right wrist and lean over to the left. Inhale your way through center. Let's dive over our feet, hinging at the waist. On an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands plant, step your right foot back, coming into a low lunge with your knee resting on the mat. And right away, we'll flow back and forth. Return to your low lunge. We're going to begin to set up for half splits. So straightening your left leg as you rock your hips backwards to hover over your knee. You might need to use your hand to adjust your heel. Toes are flexed. You might want to lift yourself up, squaring those hips forward. Woo! Challenge the balance, making sure that one hip isn't higher than the other. And once that feels stable, begin to draw your stomach, your chest, your chin over your left leg. Let's make our way back into our low lunge. Rooting our right hand into the mat. With an inhale, lift that left arm high. Option to stay here, or maybe you bend into that right knee and find that left foot. Lifting your gaze over your left shoulder. Let's release our left hand to the outside of that left foot. Curling up on your right toes. Slide your left leg back as you come into high plank. And we'll make our way into downward facing dog. Downward dog, lift your gaze to the top of the mat, bend your knees as you step forward. Let that head hang heavy. Maybe you play with straightening your legs. On an inhale, we'll lift halfway. Exhale, fold back over your legs. Inhale, rise up those arms up and overhead. This time, we'll bend into our right elbow, placing our right hand in between our shoulder blades. And bring your left hand to that right elbow. We're gonna push our hips forward as we lift our chest and our head towards the sky. Using your right arm as kind of like a pillow. Release your arms, bring them overhead, and we'll now take this on the left side. Bending into the left elbow, placing your hand between your shoulder blades. Right arm finds the elbow and lift your gaze. Pushing those hips forward. Gently release those hands overhead. We'll bring our hands to heart center as we dive over our legs. On an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold over your legs. Hands plant. This time our left leg will step back and we'll come into that low lunge. Our right knee bent. And begin to flow forward, backward. Saying hello to your left hip. We'll meet in our low lunge and set ourselves up for that half split. So inching that right heel forward, begin to rock your hips backwards, lifting up those right toes. Again, option to lift yourself up. Making sure your hips are squared forward. You're comfortable in that right leg. And begin to fold over any amount. Blocks. Be a wonderful addition. Make your way back into your low lunge. Rooting into that left hand, let's open up into a twist with that right arm lifted. Gaze goes towards your thumb. Option to stay here or bend into your left leg. And maybe you can find the pinky toe side of that left foot. As you rotate to the right side of the leg. Gently release your foot. Planting your hands, curling up on those left toes. Step back in your high plank. And we'll make our way into downward facing dog. From downward dog, walk your hands towards your feet as we make our way to the back of the mat. Go ahead and zip those feet together so big toes touch, knees touch. We'll make our way into chair. So letting those hips drop. With an inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Our arms are outside our ears. Pinkies are pointed down. Step forward so don't bump into anything. Inhale, sink those hips a little bit lower. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, straighten your legs, reach nice and high. Exhale, sink back into your chair. Open arm twist to the right. Make your way back to center, sinking those hips a little bit deeper, making sure you can see your toes over your knees. And we'll open arm twist to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, straighten your legs. We'll bring our hands to our heart. From the back of the mat, we'll make our way into one-legged Tadasana, drawing that right knee up, flexing your right foot. We'll very gently step our right leg forward as we make our way into a Crescent Lunge. Inhale those arms up and overhead, bringing your arms out to a T. We're going to slide our right arm underneath the left and come into eagle arms with our crescent legs. So forearms are twisted. You might find your palm with your right fingers. Sink a little bit deeper into that right knee, and we'll lift our gaze and our arms as we come into a back bend with our eagle arms. Tucking your belly button into your spine. As you unwind your arms, make your way into Warrior Two, facing the left side of the room. On an inhale, reach your right arm forward. Make your way into extended side angle. Left arm reaches. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, make your way into triangle. We'll reach forward with that right arm. And from here, we'll take revolve triangle. So drawing that left arm now down to the ground, opening up to the right side of the room. And if you have a block, that can be super helpful. But we've got our triangle legs. Forwards, twisting. Go ahead and frame your right foot. Step back to your high plank. And we'll make our way into downward facing dog. Walking those hands towards your feet. On an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold over your legs. From our fold, we'll make our way right away into one-legged Tadasana with our left leg lifted. Whoa. Arms up and overhead. This left foot is flexed. And we'll take a nice giant step forward as we make our way into Crescent Lunge. Bringing your arms out to a T. Slide your left arm underneath the right, intertwining those forearms. Coming into eagle. Making sure your ribs are over your hips, belly button is tucked in. And lift your arms off your chest as you come into a back bend, sinking deeper into that left knee. As you unwind your arms, open up into Warrior Two. Reaching those left fingertips forward into extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, triangle pose, reaching forward with that left arm. Taking a pause here and begin to draw your right hand now down to the floor or a block and lift your left arm open to its side. Unwind your twist. Framing that left foot, step back in your high plank, and we'll make our way to downward facing dog. On an inhale, straighten that right leg, coming in a three-legged dog, roll out your hip. And we'll make our way into pigeon, so drawing your right knee towards your right wrist, sliding that left leg behind you. Decide if you'd like to place a blanket underneath your right glute, or if you need to adjust from here. We'll meet with our chest lifted, an upright pigeon, and then begin to drape yourself over your right leg in the depth that works for you. We'll be here for about a minute or two, so really give yourself the opportunity to get comfortable. Give a blocker a pillow if you feel really nice under your forehead. Begin to lift chest from our legs. Taking all of your time. We'll make our way back into downward facing dog. Set up for pigeon now on our left side. So extending that left leg, rolling out your knee. Sweep your left knee towards your left wrist. And we'll come into pigeon on our left side. Beginning upright. Feeling the stretch to the low back. Begin to drape yourself over your left leg as we settle in. You're ready. Come out of our pigeon, sweeping your right leg forward. We'll make our way on our backs with our knees tucked into our stomachs. Giving yourself a little low back massage. And we'll come into our twist. So drawing both knees over to the right. Knees are extended from the hips, so you're making a 90-degree angle with those legs. An option to bring your arms out to a T or maybe take them into a Y. And settle in your twist as we rinse out the mid-body, glutes, hamstrings. As you are ready, we'll return our legs back to center, resetting that spine, hugging your knees again into your chest. We'll come into our twist on our left side with our knees in that 90-degree angle from our hips. And open up your arms out that T, or maybe you try the Y. And we'll settle into our twist. Nice inhale. Let's come out of our twist, taking any additional posture that you like. And we'll make our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose for the practice, whatever that looks like for you this morning. We'll find that stillness, that quiet. Ready to move on, knowing there's no rush. Invite those gentle movements into the body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Move your tongue around in your mouth. We'll gently make our way into seated. Taking your time to get there. Meeting in that seated position with your hands at your center. Thank you for the lovely practice. Hope that you're able to carry this throughout your day. Well, hope I can do that too. Bringing your thumbs to your forehead. The light in me sees and respects the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks. That was great.
I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
I'll see you next week.
Yep, for sure.
Bye.
Bye.